Part 1. The Journey Within, Self-Awareness and Growth. Have you ever found yourself rushing through life, always chasing something external to feel complete? The truth is, many of us spend so much time focusing on what's happening around us, whether it's career goals, relationships, or social approval, that we forget to look within. But what if I told you that the answers to the questions you seek, the peace you crave, and the fulfillment you desire are already inside you? The journey to true growth, self-awareness, and peace doesn't start in the outside world, but rather within yourself. In today's video, we'll explore how embracing self-awareness, living authentically, and practicing detachment can lead to greater happiness and success. I'm going to share insights from Buddhist philosophy that help me transform my mindset, along with personal stories and lessons I've learned along the way. This might just change the way you view your life and goals, and show you a path to living a more peaceful, purposeful, and authentic life. The power of self-awareness. Self-awareness is the key to unlocking your full potential. Without it, you might be operating on autopilot, reacting to life instead of consciously creating the life you want. Imagine you're driving down a road, but you don't know where you're going. No map, no direction, just aimlessly moving forward. This is what it feels like to live without self-awareness. When you take the time to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions, you can begin to understand what drives you. What makes you happy? What makes you anxious? What are your core values? By answering these questions, you gain clarity on your purpose in life. Let me share a personal story to highlight this point. A few years ago, I found myself in a job that, although successful, left me feeling unfulfilled. I was constantly striving for external validation and comparing myself to others. The result? Stress, frustration, and a lack of clarity about what I truly wanted in life. But when I took a step back, I realized that I was chasing the wrong things. What I needed wasn't another promotion or social approval. It was a deeper understanding of my values and what truly brought me joy. This realization marked the beginning of my journey toward authentic living, and it all started with self-awareness. Living authentically. Living authentically means being true to yourself, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. In a world where there is so much pressure to fit in, we often forget who we are and start living according to what others expect of us. But as we all know, living a life that doesn't align with your true self can lead to burnout, dissatisfaction, and a constant feeling of emptiness. Let me tell you a story that illustrates the power of living authentically. There's a story of a famous Zen master who lived in ancient Japan. He was known for his deep wisdom and the simplicity with which he lived. One day, a young man approached him, seeking advice on how to live a fulfilling life. The Zen master took the young man to a nearby river and told him to sit and observe the water. "Look at the water," the Zen master said. "Is it clear or muddy?" The young man replied, "It's muddy, master." The Zen master nodded. "Now leave it alone. Let it settle on its own." The young man waited for hours, watching the water gradually become clearer. "See," the master said, "the water was cloudy, but when you let it be, it cleared on its own. This is how you should live. When you stop forcing things and allow yourself to be who you are, your life will become clear. You don't need to chase after things. Just let your true nature emerge naturally." The challenge of letting go. One of the greatest challenges in life is learning to let go. We live in a society that constantly teaches us to cling to things, whether it's success, possessions, relationships, or approval. But this attachment often leads to pain, frustration, and suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to something or someone, we begin to fear losing it, which creates anxiety. The more tightly we hold on, the more we hurt when we inevitably lose it. But what if we could learn to let go without fear? What if releasing attachment could actually bring us more peace and freedom? Here's a story that beautifully illustrates the power of letting go. A Zen monk was once walking along a path when he saw a woman struggling to cross a river. Without hesitation, he lifted her onto his shoulders and carried her across. Afterward, he set her down gently on the other side, and the woman thanked him before going on her way. Hours later, as the monk and his disciple continued walking, the disciple spoke up. "Master, you carried that woman across the river, and yet we're not supposed to touch women. Why did you do that?" The monk calmly replied, "I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story perfectly captures the essence of letting go. The monk acted with compassion in the moment, but he didn't carry the burden of that action with him. He was able to release it, move on, and continue his journey. Unfortunately, the disciple held onto the memory, unable to let go. This simple story teaches us that while it's natural to take action, it's also important to release the attachment to that action. The freedom in detachment. Detachment doesn't mean abandoning your desires or responsibilities. It means freeing yourself from being controlled by them. When you detach, you stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your inner peace. You acknowledge that while you can control your actions, you cannot control the outcome. Let's take a look at how detachment played a crucial role in the life of a well-known Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. He once said, "The Buddha said, don't seek the truth, just cease to cherish your opinions." This powerful statement speaks to the heart of detachment. When we stop clinging to our preconceived notions and allow ourselves to be open, we create space for truth to emerge. I'll share an example of how I've experienced the power of detachment in my own life. When I was working on a personal project, I had a very specific vision in mind. But as things progressed, I found that reality didn't match my expectations. At first, I was frustrated and disheartened, but then I realized I was attached to a specific outcome. I was so focused on how I thought things should unfold that I wasn't open to other possibilities. Once I let go of that attachment, I was able to adapt, learn, and make the project even better than I had originally planned. Detachment doesn't mean that you stop caring about the outcome. It means that you care without letting the outcome control your emotions. By practicing detachment, you create space for peace and acceptance, even in the face of uncertainty. As we reach the end of this part, we've explored the importance of self-awareness, living authentically, letting go, and practicing detachment. These principles are not just abstract ideas. They are practical tools for living a more peaceful and fulfilled life. The journey to personal growth is not about chasing external achievements or trying to meet the expectations of others. It's about connecting with your true self and allowing that authenticity to guide you. Part 2, Gratitude, Purpose, and the Power of Letting Go. In Part 1, we explored the foundational concepts of self-awareness, living authentically, and detachment, 3 key pillars of personal growth. Now, let's dive into 2 more powerful tools that can help you transform your life: gratitude and purpose. These elements are not just feel-good concepts. They are essential for creating a life that aligns with your deepest values and leads to long-lasting happiness. You may have heard people say, "Gratitude changes everything." But what does this really mean? How can something as simple as gratitude shape our lives in profound ways? And what role does purpose play in our journey? Stick with me, because I'm going to share some personal insights, powerful stories, and life-changing lessons that will help you understand how these 2 forces can bring you clarity and peace. The transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is often seen as just a polite response to good things that happen in our lives. But in reality, it's far more than that. Gratitude is an incredibly powerful tool for shifting your mindset and opening the door to greater abundance, joy, and peace. When we take the time to appreciate what we have in the present moment, we shift our focus away from what we lack or what we want, creating a deeper sense of fulfillment. A few years ago, I went through a particularly difficult phase in my life. There were many setbacks and challenges, both personally and professionally. I found myself constantly focusing on what wasn't working, what I didn't have, and what I had lost. This negativity began to cloud my judgment and drain my energy. But then, I stumbled upon a simple practice that changed everything: keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, I started writing down 3 things I was grateful for, no matter how small they seemed. At first, it felt trivial. How could writing down a hot cup of coffee or a kind word from a friend change my mindset? But as I continued this practice, I began to notice something incredible. My perspective started shifting. Instead of focusing on what I lacked, I began to appreciate the richness of what was already in my life. I found that gratitude didn't just make me feel good in the moment, it helped me weather the storms of life with a greater sense of resilience. I realized that no matter what was happening in the external world, I had the power to choose how I responded, and that response could be one of appreciation, the role of purpose in our lives. Living without purpose is like navigating through life without a map. We might end up somewhere, but we don't know if it's where we truly want to be. Purpose gives us direction, focus, and the inner drive to push forward even in the face of adversity. It's not just about having goals or ambitions. It's about having a deeper understanding of why you do what you do. One of the most profound stories I've ever encountered is that of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust. Frankl's story is not just one of survival, it's one of finding purpose in the most unimaginable circumstances. While in a concentration camp, he witnessed countless atrocities, and yet, he managed to find meaning in his suffering. He realized that even when everything else was taken away, he still had the power to choose his attitude and find purpose in his experience. Frankl famously wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." His words are a testament to the transformative power of purpose. When you find a purpose that transcends your immediate circumstances, you unlock the resilience to endure, grow, and thrive, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. I too have experienced moments when life felt overwhelming and the road ahead seemed unclear. But every time I reconnected with my purpose, whether it was helping others, pursuing my passions, or striving to make a positive impact, I found the strength to keep moving forward. Purpose isn't just something you think about, it's something you live every day. It gives meaning to the mundane and adds depth to every challenge you face, letting go of what no longer serves you. In our pursuit of growth and fulfillment, we often accumulate emotional baggage, negative thoughts, and unhealthy attachments. The challenge is knowing when to let go, whether it's letting go of limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or old habits that no longer serve us. But letting go is not always easy. It requires courage, self-awareness, and trust that releasing these attachments will create space for something better. I once held on to a friendship that had become unhealthy. Despite feeling drained and unsupported, I stayed because I feared losing the connection. I kept telling myself, it will get better, and maybe they'll change. But deep down, I knew that this relationship was no longer contributing to my well-being. It wasn't until I started practicing mindfulness and self-reflection that I realized I was holding on to a version of the relationship that no longer existed. I had to make the difficult decision to let go. It wasn't easy, but the moment I released it, I felt a profound sense of relief. I made room for new, more positive connections, and in the process, I became more aligned with my true self. The act of letting go is not about abandoning or forgetting. It's about freeing yourself from attachments that limit your growth. Whether it's letting go of past mistakes, outdated beliefs, or relationships that drain you, releasing these attachments creates space for healing, growth, and new opportunities. The freedom in releasing expectations. We all have expectations of ourselves, of others, and of life in general. While it's natural to have goals and desires, expectations can often lead to disappointment, frustration, and resentment when reality doesn't meet our ideals. One of the most liberating lessons I've learned is the importance of releasing rigid expectations. Take, for example, the story of a young woman named Maya who spent years planning every detail of her life. She had set clear expectations for herself. By 25, she would have a successful career, a perfect relationship, and a thriving social life. However, as she approached 25, things didn't go as planned. Her career was not where she had hoped, her relationship was rocky, and her social life was quieter than expected. Maya found herself feeling anxious and disappointed. But one day, she stumbled upon a piece of wisdom from the Buddhist teachings that changed her perspective. Expect nothing, accept everything. Maya realized that her constant striving for perfection and her attachment to expectations were creating unnecessary suffering. She began to embrace life as it came, letting go of her rigid expectations and accepting each moment as it was. In doing so, she found peace in the present and discovered that life, in all its unpredictability, had its own beauty. In Part 2, we've explored the power of gratitude, the importance of purpose, and the transformative effect of letting go of what no longer serves us. Gratitude helps us shift our mindset and find abundance in the present, while purpose gives us direction and resilience in the face of adversity. Letting go, though challenging, creates space for new opportunities, healing, and growth. These concepts, when practiced together, form a powerful foundation for living a more fulfilled and meaningful life. But there's one more crucial piece we'll explore in Part 3, the role of emotional resilience and mindfulness in overcoming life's challenges. Stay tuned for more powerful insights that will help you navigate life with greater wisdom and peace. Part 3, how to improve self-confidence and emotional regulation skills. We've discussed how to identify and confront our emotions, But how can we develop strong self-confidence and emotional regulation skills to overcome challenges in life? This requires effort and patience, but the results are definitely worth it. Improving self-confidence. Self-confidence is not something we are born with. It is a skill that can be cultivated. A very clear example is a friend I know. He used to be quite shy and often anxious in social situations. But instead of giving up, he began participating in activities that helped him practice communication and public speaking, such as joining the Toastmasters Club. Today, he is a confident speaker, and this has not only helped him at work, but also in personal relationships. Self-confidence can be improved through activities such as practice communication. Find opportunities to communicate, even in uncomfortable situations, to help you feel more at ease and gradually build your confidence. Accept failure. See failure as a learning experience rather than a setback. When we start accepting that failure is a natural part of the learning process, we feel less pressure and gradually become more confident when facing challenging situations. Develop new skills. Learning and improving new skills will make you feel more confident in your abilities. For example, learning a new language or getting familiar with new tools or software at work. Here's a story from my life. Once, I had an important meeting with new partners, and I felt unsure of my ability to present my project. But I remembered the advice about preparing thoroughly and not fearing failure. The truth is, I managed to do well and received positive feedback. Since then, my confidence has grown significantly, and I realized that confidence can come from even the smallest situations if you don't give up on yourself. Emotional regulation. Emotions are an inseparable part of life, but how can we regulate them instead of letting them control us? This requires practice and a few specific strategies. A great example of emotional regulation comes from a person I know, a manager at a large company. She once found herself in a very stressful situation when a major project encountered a setback, and everyone on the team was looking to her with concern. Instead of reacting negatively, she chose to pause, take deep breaths, and assess the situation calmly. She was able to come up with an effective solution without letting her emotions take over. To regulate your emotions, you can practice techniques such as deep breathing and focusing on the present. When you feel stressed or angry, try to stop for a few seconds to take deep breaths and focus on what's happening in the moment. This helps reduce stress and create space for a more measured response. Recognizing and analyzing emotions. Instead of letting emotions drive your actions, take time to identify what you're feeling and think about why you feel that way. Understanding the root cause will help you react in a more rational way. Accept emotions without judgment. Don't impose negative thoughts about your feelings. Emotions are natural, and there's no shame in feeling sad, angry, or anxious. What's important is how we respond to them and learn to deal with them. A story about mindfulness and facing emotions. Once, I took part in a mindfulness course, and I learned a profound lesson about dealing with my emotions. In a stressful situation, instead of trying to avoid my emotions, I chose to confront and allow myself to fully feel the anger in my body without letting it control my actions. Within a few moments, the anger diminished, and I was able to deal with the situation calmly and more effectively. Creating positive habits. To maintain self-confidence and emotional regulation in the long run, it's important to develop positive habits. These habits not only help you become stronger in facing challenges, but also contribute to sustainable personal growth over time. A story from a friend of mine. She is someone who is always busy with work and family, but she started a habit of journaling every day. Each evening, she spends at least 15 minutes writing down her thoughts, feelings, and things she did throughout the day. This habit helps her release emotions and reflect on what happened, helping her maintain balance in her life. Some positive habits you can start building. Meditation. Spending a few minutes each day meditating will help keep your mind clear and allow you to regulate your emotions. Planning. Organizing your tasks and goals every morning will help you stay focused and reduce the feeling of pressure during the day. Physical exercise. Exercising not only keeps the body healthy, but also helps reduce stress and improve mood. Summary and key lessons. Finally, when we look back at the journey of building self-confidence and emotional regulation skills, the main lesson is this: self-confidence is not something inherent, but a skill that can be developed over time. Emotional regulation is an ongoing process, and the key is to be patient and focus on actions rather than allowing emotions to control us. Through the stories and examples shared, we see that both self-confidence and emotional regulation not only help us overcome challenges in work, but also enhance personal relationships and self-development. To achieve this, it is essential to build positive habits, recognize and confront our emotions, and continuously work on improving ourselves. Thus, 2025 is the year when you can learn and grow more than ever. Step by step, you'll find yourself becoming more resilient and capable of facing every challenge in life with calmness and confidence. Part 4. The Ripple Effect. How personal growth inspires those around you. As we've seen, self-confidence and emotional regulation are essential elements of personal growth. But what makes these traits even more valuable is their ability to create a ripple effect that influences others around you. The changes you make in yourself don't just transform your life. They can help uplift and inspire the people in your life too. The power of influence. We all have an influence on the people around us, whether we realize it or not. In every interaction, we have the potential to either inspire or discourage others. Personal growth isn't just about becoming the best version of ourselves. It's about becoming someone whose actions and attitude encourage others to strive for the same. One of the most powerful examples of this comes from a story of a mentor I had a few years ago. She was a senior leader in a company I worked for, and I watched her transform an entire team simply by being authentic and resilient in her leadership. She faced numerous setbacks in her career, but instead of letting those challenges break her down, she used them as lessons to grow and share with others. This created a culture of resilience and mutual support, where everyone felt empowered to face their own challenges with courage and perseverance. This is the ripple effect. It starts with one person but grows exponentially, affecting the entire group, community, or organization. The importance of leading by example. One of the easiest yet most effective ways to inspire others is by leading through example. When you live authentically and prioritize your own growth, others take notice. Your actions speak louder than any words or advice you could give. People are naturally drawn to those who are genuine and who maintain integrity in their actions. It gives them permission to do the same. A simple story illustrates this. Imagine you're part of a team at work, and one person consistently shows up on time, maintains a positive attitude, and helps others even without being asked. Over time, the rest of the team begins to adopt these same behaviors because they're seeing the positive impact it has on their work environment. It doesn't take long before a ripple effect of good habits and attitudes spreads across the group. It's important to remember that living authentically doesn't require grand gestures or public recognition. It's the small, everyday actions that add up and make the most significant impact on others. How to cultivate a ripple effect of positivity. If you want to create a positive ripple effect in your life and inspire those around you, start by practicing self-awareness and self-compassion. When you acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses without judgment, you allow yourself to grow in a healthy, authentic way. By focusing on your own growth, you provide a model for others to follow. Here are some actionable steps you can take to cultivate a ripple effect of positivity. Prioritize authenticity. Be true to yourself in everything you do. Whether you're at work, with family, or with friends, authenticity is contagious. When others see you being real, they will feel comfortable doing the same. Encourage and uplift others. When you see someone around you striving for personal growth, be their cheerleader. Offer encouragement and support. Helping others feel valued and capable is one of the best ways to inspire them to keep moving forward. Lead with empathy and compassion. Take the time to understand others' perspectives and offer kindness, even in difficult situations. Showing empathy helps people feel heard and appreciated, which can motivate them to show similar kindness to others. Leading a team through personal growth. The ripple effect becomes even more powerful when you're part of a team or community. Whether in the workplace, family, or any other group, personal growth can act as a catalyst for collective transformation. When one person starts working on themselves, be it improving their emotional intelligence, communication skills, or personal habits, the energy shifts within the whole team. A great example of this is seen in sports teams or work environments that embrace a culture of continuous improvement. Let's take a look at the world of professional athletes. Many of the most successful teams are those where each member is dedicated to self-improvement. The commitment to growing personally and professionally rubs off on others, creating a team dynamic that pushes everyone to strive for excellence. Story example. I once worked on a project with a team that initially struggled with communication and trust. We were facing tight deadlines, and tensions were high. But one team member, instead of getting discouraged, decided to approach the situation with patience and open communication. She made sure to ask others how they were feeling, listen carefully, and offer solutions rather than complaints. Over time, this small act of emotional intelligence started to change the dynamics of the team. More people became open to sharing their concerns and ideas, which ultimately led to us meeting our goals and strengthening our team bond. The influence of personal growth on family dynamics. Personal growth doesn't just impact the workplace or social circles. It has the potential to transform family dynamics as well. Often, families fall into patterns of behavior that can be difficult to break. Whether it's unspoken expectations, poor communication, or negative cycles of behavior, breaking these patterns requires someone to take the first step toward growth. Take, for example, a mother who decided to focus on her own emotional regulation and personal development. For years, she had been caught in cycles of stress and frustration, which affected her relationship with her children. But as she began to work on herself, learning to manage her emotions and communicate more effectively, she noticed that her children also started mimicking her behaviors. They became more patient with each other and more understanding of her needs as well. In this case, one person's growth led to a profound positive change in the whole family dynamic, giving and receiving support. It's also important to remember that personal growth is not a solitary journey. A significant part of the ripple effect comes from the support we give to others and the support we receive. When you invest time and energy in yourself, you become better equipped to give back to others, whether it's through offering advice, sharing resources, or simply being there for someone who needs a listening ear. One of the most profound ways to cultivate a positive ripple effect is by recognizing when you need help and being open to receiving support from others. This vulnerability doesn't diminish your strength, it amplifies it. When we allow ourselves to be supported, we strengthen our bonds with others and create an environment where mutual support is encouraged. Key lessons from the ripple effect. To sum up, the ripple effect of personal growth is a powerful concept. By focusing on self-improvement and living authentically, we not only transform our own lives but also inspire those around us to grow, too. Whether it's through leading by example, showing empathy, or offering support, the impact we have on others can be far-reaching. The key lessons to take away from this part are: personal growth creates a ripple effect. Your actions and attitudes can inspire and uplift those around you, creating a culture of positivity and support. Lead by example. The best way to inspire others is through your own behavior. When you act with integrity, authenticity, and compassion, others will follow suit. Support others. Offer encouragement, empathy, and support to those around you. Helping others on their journey not only makes them stronger but also contributes to your own growth. Personal growth influences all aspects of life. Whether it's your workplace, family, or community, focusing on your own growth has the power to positively impact every area of your life. As we move into 2025, embracing personal growth and understanding the ripple effect it has on others can be transformative. The choices we make today will not only affect our own lives but will inspire those around us to live more authentically and intentionally as well. By prioritizing our own growth, we set the stage for a future where we all support each other in our journeys toward becoming our best selves. Part 5. Embracing the full potential of personal growth. Now that we've explored how personal growth influences not only our own lives but also those around us, it's time to focus on how to fully embrace the potential of this transformative journey. Personal growth is an ongoing process. There is no end or final destination. The beauty of growth lies in the continuous evolution of who we are, the lessons we learn, and the impact we have on the world. But how do we embrace this journey in a meaningful way? Setting intentional goals. To truly make the most of personal growth, it's essential to set intentional goals. This doesn't mean creating a rigid list of tasks that you feel obligated to check off. Instead, it's about setting goals that align with your values and your purpose. These goals act as a compass, guiding you in your decision-making and giving you direction in your personal journey. For instance, a person who values emotional intelligence may set a goal to practice mindfulness meditation daily. This goal reflects their desire to understand and regulate their emotions more effectively. Over time, this daily practice leads to greater emotional resilience and deeper self-awareness. But goals don't have to be grand in scale. They can be small and incremental, such as improving communication in your relationships or dedicating time each week to self-reflection. The key is to ensure that your goals are rooted in your authentic self and your unique growth journey. Understanding and accepting imperfection. One of the biggest challenges in the pursuit of personal growth is the idea of perfection. Many of us fall into the trap of believing that we must be flawless in every aspect of our lives, whether it's our career, relationships, or personal habits. This pursuit of perfection can often lead to frustration, burnout, or even feelings of inadequacy. However, true personal growth comes from embracing imperfection. The process of growing means acknowledging that you will make mistakes, face setbacks, and experience challenges along the way. These moments of imperfection are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth. They teach us valuable lessons and help us become more resilient. I'll share a story to illustrate this. There was once a renowned painter who, after years of creating stunning works of art, decided to take a break and reflect on his journey. He realized that, despite his success, he had often strived for perfection in his paintings. He tried to perfect every brushstroke, and in doing so, he became disconnected from the essence of his art. One day, he made a deliberate choice to let go of perfection and embrace his flaws. The result was one of his most authentic and emotionally impactful pieces, a piece that spoke to the beauty of imperfection and the growth that comes with embracing it. The lesson here is that growth doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when we accept that we are, and always will be, a work in progress. The role of reflection in personal growth. Reflection is a cornerstone of personal growth. It's the practice of looking back on your experiences, whether they're successes, challenges, or even failures, and learning from them. Without reflection, growth becomes haphazard and disconnected. When you take the time to reflect, you gain clarity on what's working and what isn't, and you can make more intentional decisions about how to move forward. Daily or weekly reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth. It can be as simple as journaling your thoughts or spending a few minutes in quiet contemplation. The goal is to create space to evaluate your thoughts, actions, and emotional responses. Through this practice, you gain deeper insights into yourself, and you develop the self-awareness necessary to adjust your course when needed. For example, after a challenging interaction with a colleague, you might reflect on the conversation and ask yourself questions like, what was my emotional response? Did I communicate my thoughts clearly? How did my actions contribute to the outcome? This process of self-reflection helps you learn from each experience, allowing you to grow and improve in the future. Overcoming fear of change. Change is often viewed with resistance or fear. We're creatures of habit, and the idea of stepping out of our comfort zones can be intimidating. But personal growth requires us to confront these fears and move through them. Change is inevitable, and embracing it is a necessary step in our growth. One of the most compelling stories about embracing change comes from the story of the caterpillar and the butterfly. A caterpillar spends most of its life on the ground, eating leaves and living a fairly simple existence. But eventually, it undergoes a profound transformation, entering a cocoon, where it faces a period of darkness and stillness. During this time, it undergoes a complete metamorphosis. When it emerges, it's no longer a caterpillar but a beautiful butterfly, capable of soaring to new heights. This story is a metaphor for personal growth. Just as the caterpillar must face the discomfort and uncertainty of change, so must we. But it's through this process of change, through the discomfort and challenge, that we emerge stronger and more capable than we were before. The importance of patience in the growth process. Patience is another vital element in personal growth. We live in a fast-paced world where instant gratification is the norm, but personal growth doesn't happen overnight. It requires time, persistence, and the willingness to endure setbacks along the way. Think of the bamboo tree. In its early years, it spends much of its time underground, developing a strong root system. It appears to be growing very slowly, yet beneath the surface, it is preparing for a period of rapid growth. After several years, it shoots up incredibly quickly, reaching its full height in just a matter of months. This slow, steady growth beneath the surface mirrors the journey of personal development. We may not always see immediate results, but every small step we take is laying the foundation for future success. Patience is essential as we trust the process and allow ourselves the time we need to grow. Final thoughts: the continuous journey of growth. Personal growth is a lifelong journey, one that evolves as we continue to learn, adapt, and embrace new challenges. By focusing on self-awareness, emotional regulation, and authenticity, we not only enrich our own lives, but inspire others to do the same. The ripple effect of our growth spreads far and wide, creating positive change in the world around us. The key to fully embracing personal growth is to approach it with patience, reflection, and a willingness to change. Accepting imperfection and celebrating small wins along the way will keep you moving forward, even when the path seems uncertain. Summary of key lessons. Intentional goals. Set goals that are aligned with your values and purpose to guide your personal growth. Embrace imperfection. Personal growth is about accepting mistakes and setbacks as opportunities to learn. Reflection. Regular reflection allows you to assess your growth, learn from experiences, and make intentional decisions. Overcome fear of change. Embrace change as a necessary part of growth and transformation. Patience. Trust the process of growth and understand that meaningful change takes time. As we move through 2025, let's commit to fully embracing the process of personal growth, knowing that it not only transforms our own lives, but inspires those around us. By continuing to grow and evolve, we create a ripple effect that fosters positivity, resilience, and authentic living for all.